Hey everyone, Till here. Today I'm going to unbox and review the XP Pen Artist 10 second generation and Artist 13 second generation pen displays. And this one at the bottom is the Artist 16 second generation, which I have already reviewed in a separate video. I have also reviewed the Artist 12 second generation a few weeks or months ago. So currently XP Pen has 4 pen displays from the Artist second generation series: 10, 12, 13, and 16. So before I start my review and unboxing, let me just say that these are review units provided by XP Pen. In this video, I'm just going to present to you my findings and you can decide whether or not these are worth the money. The official retail prices are listed on the site here and you can probably find them at lower prices on Amazon or on XP Pen online store because they have promotions going on quite frequently. Let's unbox the small one first. So this is the Artist 10 second generation. The display size is actually 10.1 inches. So these new pen displays, they come with the X3, the XP Pen X3 Elite Pen. So this is the pen display and it's quite small. It's much thicker than I expected compared to other pen displays from the same series, but still thin enough. So that's the pen. We have the box with the manuals inside, and this is the cable, the 3-to-1 cable. This is how big the pen display is compared to the included pen. Let's remove the protective film on the pen display. This display has a matte textured surface, so when you peel off that protective film, make sure you do not peel off the matte screen protector. And this is the Artist 13 second generation. By the way, there are no stands included, and the pen displays support USB-C to USB-C connection, but no USB-C cables are included as well, so those are sold separately. And the pen displays, they come with 18 months of warranty. So this one is green. This is the green color. These pen displays are available in 4 colors: black, which is the one you saw earlier, green, blue, and pink. So we have the pen, the 3-to-1 cable, and the manuals and quick start guide. So this one has a protective film over the matte screen protector as well. I have featured many pen displays from XP Pen and most of them use matte screen protectors instead of the matte glass. So over time, there may be some scratches that may develop on the display depending on how hard you draw on them. This is how the matte textured surface looks. Personally, I'm not a very fussy person, so I'm not bothered by a few scratches with usage. XP Pen does sell replacement screen protectors, so if you want to, you can get a replacement. However, replacing such a big screen protector is kind of challenging because you don't really want bubbles or dust underneath the screen protector, so it's dust and bubbles versus fine scratches. So these are the sizes that I have. This is the 10.1 inch, this is the 13.3 inch, and this is the 15.6 inch. My general recommendation when it comes to buying pen displays is this: try to get something that is at least 13 inches or larger, depending on your budget, because 13 inches is a good size to work with. 10 and 12 inches, they are kind of small, at least for my personal preference. But of course, the larger the pen display, the more expensive it is. So this 10.1 inch is just $169 US. The Artist 12 is US $249. Let me connect the pen display to my computer. I've already installed the driver that's downloaded from their website. And here I'm using my own USB-C cable. So let's connect this here. And here there is a rubber stopper here that I have to remove. This one is for USB-C and this one is for the 3-to-1 cable. They are labeled beneath the pen display. So these are not interchangeable. Okay, it seems like my USB cable doesn't fit this hole here because this is kind of rectangular and this is like a rounded rectangle. Luckily, I have another cable with a much smaller connector, so this will definitely fit. So if you want to use your own USB-C cable, you better hope that your connector is small enough to go in. Otherwise, you may just want to buy the USB-C cable from XP Pen, which is US $14. So out of the box, I can see the colors, they look really good. It looks quite similar to the display on the MacBook Air before calibration. I've not calibrated this yet, but based on my calibration of the Artist 16 second generation, I measured color support for 99% sRGB and 94% Adobe RGB. So this is, I would say, a reasonably color accurate display. The brightness is rated at 220 nits, but I've not measured that yet. It seems quite bright. This is at 50% brightness. The difference between 50% brightness and 100% brightness is actually not that different. 50% brightness looks alright for the room that I'm in right now, which is quite bright. And this is how the anti-glare looks. And the anti-glare is actually not that aggressive. What I mean is you can see diffused reflections, but you can still see the colors beneath the diffused reflection. So that is good. Let's compare this display size, 13.3 inch to A4 size paper. So the width is similar to A4 size paper. However, this pen display is shorter by this much. So you can see A4 is noticeably larger. So if you go with the Artist 12, which is going to be smaller, it's going to be smaller. So 13 inches is actually a pretty good size to work with. And this is how big it is compared to an A5 size sketchbook. And this is the Artist 10. There are 6 physical shortcut buttons on the side here instead of 8. And this is how big the 10.1 inch display is. When I have my hand on it, the hand blocks half the display. And this is how big it is compared to an A5 size sketchbook. The width is kind of similar, but the display is shorter by this much. So this drawing area is very similar to A5 size. Another thing you have to know before you buy a 10.1 inch display is the resolution is 1080p, and if you use this pen display at the native resolution without any scaling, the user interface elements such as the menu bars, the windows, the icons, the text, all those things are going to be quite small. In fact, let me call up this app, Clip Studio Paint. The small text can be difficult to read, and those small icons can be difficult to click on compared to larger icons. By the way, cursor tracking is quite accurate. There is almost no cursor offset, even when the pen tip is at the extreme edge. So this is fantastic. The upside is pixelation is not noticeable with Full HD resolution on a 10.1 inch display. The downside is the UI elements are kind of small. So personally for me, I would just scale the UI to make it larger. So this scaling option is 1600 by 900. Let's click OK and have a look again. So now the palettes are bigger. The texts are also bigger, relatively speaking, compared to Full HD without scaling. So this is a bit easier to work with. But the downside here is the palettes now take up more space, so you have even less space to work with. So the workflow on such a small pen display would involve a lot of hiding of the user interface elements so that you can maximize the space to draw on. And this is the Artist 13 second generation. So this display is noticeably larger compared to Artist 10, and this is just a more comfortable size to work with. When I have my pen on the display, it covers maybe 1/3 of the display compared to covering half of the display with the smaller pen display. And also with the palettes on the left and right side, I can still have a good amount of canvas space to draw with. This is 1080p resolution at native scaling, which is no scaling, and the text is small, but not as small compared to the smaller pen displays. So here I can actually click on things more easily because they are bigger to click on. There is slight pixelation with this resolution and display size combination, but 1080p is still a very usable resolution. And again, cursor tracking here is fantastic, even right up to the extreme edge. The main advantage here is you can have your palettes on the sides, on both sides, and still have a good amount of canvas space to work with, so you don't have to keep hiding your palettes. You can change your layers, select colors, change your brush very easily because all the options are there on the screen. And the other thing is, because you are using this at Full HD resolution without any scaling, you get to show more content compared to the Artist 10, where you have to scale to make the palettes the same size. So if you have the palettes at the same size on the smaller pen display, they are going to take up a larger portion of the display. But because this display is physically larger, the same palette sizes will take up a smaller portion of the display on a larger pen display. So this means you can be more productive. In other words, you don't have to hide your palettes. And this is the Artist 16 second generation. So this is a 15.6-inch display with Full HD resolution. And this is how big the display is compared to A4 size drawing paper. It's much wider and slightly shorter. So this is, I would say, larger than A4 size paper. So this is a really comfortable size to work with for drawing, especially if you need to draw for long periods of time. This is of course more expensive. The official retail price is US $400. Currently they have it at $340 on XP Pen's website. So again, the advantage here is you can have palettes on the left and right side and still get like a huge area to work with. And there is more noticeable pixelation due to the same Full HD resolution now on a much larger display. And this one has 10 physical shortcut buttons on the side. The Artist 10 has 6 buttons, the Artist 12 and 13 have 8 buttons. Let's talk about the drivers. XP Pen drivers usually work fine. However, I discovered 2 issues with the Mac OS driver. So after installation, the Mac OS driver doesn't launch automatically, so you have to manually set it to launch at login, which is a very simple workaround. The other issue is with Adobe Illustrator on Mac OS. You cannot get pressure sensitivity with Adobe Illustrator on Mac OS, and this is actually a very common problem, not specific to XP Pen. Let's take a look at the X3 Elite pen. So this pen supports tilt sensitivity and slightly over 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity. So this is a tilt brush that I'm using, and the cursor is able to follow the direction of the pen. So let's draw some strokes here. I can tilt the brush this way or the direction this way to have the lines combined together. And let me spread out the lines again, combine the lines. Initial activation force of this pen is very low. Right now I'm drawing with almost no pressure. It's just that the pen tip is in contact with the display. So this is how thick the line really is. line transition from thin to thick is quite smooth. And the lines seem to be able to taper quite nicely. Right, let's draw something really quickly to talk a bit more about the drawing experience. The pen is very sensitive, so it's really nice to work with. The lines always come out exactly the way I expect them to, and the texture is very nice. The pen performance is very predictable and consistent. So I'm going to end my review here by saying that I will put out a more detailed review for the Artist 10 and Artist 13 second generation on my blog first before I make the full detailed reviews. The links to all the text reviews of the XP Pen products will be in the video description below. Alright, if you guys have any questions regarding this XP Pen Artist series, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. See you guys in the next video. Bye!